Sometimes silence speaks louder than the ocean. My name is Marta, and I came back to the coast to finish what I once abandoned. Not the research, but myself. The road to the house smelled of salt and eucalyptus, the same path I walked as a child, now overgrown, whispering under the soles of my sandals. The ocean waited below, endless, patient, breathing in slow rhythm. Every evening, after long hours with notebooks and tide charts, I walked down to the shore. The sand was cold already, streaked with lines of foam and fading light. That's when I first saw her. A woman sat on a flat rock near the edge, her hair caught by the wind, her hands moving slowly over a canvas. She didn't notice me at first, or pretended not to. When she finally turned, the light hit her face, and I saw calm eyes that seemed to already know me. "Beautiful tide today," I said. She smiled faintly. "It changes every minute. I'm trying to keep up." Her name was Sophia, a painter who had lived by the sea her whole life. She said the waves were her clock, her prayer, her silence. I told her I used to measure tides too, but for science, not for beauty. She laughed softly, as if there wasn't much difference. The sun dipped lower, the world turning gold and rose. Gulls passed overhead, their cries thin and distant. For a while we just sat, she painting, I watching, both pretending we were strangers who might never meet again. But the air between us thickened, like the sea before rain. Sophia spoke first. "People think the sea heals," she said quietly, "but it remembers everything." I looked at her, and something in her tone, weary, familiar, felt like a mirror. "So do we," I answered. She didn't reply, just kept painting, but I saw her hand tremble slightly when the last line of sunlight touched her wrist. When I finally stood to leave, she looked up. "You'll come back tomorrow?" It wasn't a question, and I didn't lie. "Yes." That night, the waves seemed closer than ever. In their rhythm, I heard her voice, calm, patient, waiting. Some tides never retreat. They just return in another form. The next evening, the sky burned in quiet orange, the air heavy with salt and memory. I walked down the same path, past the dunes and the whispering grass. She was there again, Sophia, sitting on the same rock, her canvas turned toward the dying sun. This time she didn't paint. She looked at the sea as if waiting for an answer that wouldn't come. "I thought you'd be working," I said. "I thought you'd be gone," she replied, smiling faintly. We both laughed softly, like people who've been lonely too long. I sat beside her. The stones were warm, holding the day's heat. The waves rolled and broke, then rolled again, like slow breathing. For a while we said nothing, the kind of silence that feels full, not empty. Then she spoke, her voice almost lost in the wind. "My wife used to paint with me," she said. "Before she got sick. I stopped for years. When she died, I couldn't even look at the sea." The breeze lifted her hair. I saw the tremor in her jaw as she looked away. "I came back here because I thought I could finish something I started," I whispered. "But maybe I just didn't want to be alone anymore." She turned to me then, her eyes soft and tired, the color of deep water before nightfall. "You don't look alone now," she said. The sun touched the horizon, melting into gold. Waves brushed against our feet, cold and real. I reached out without thinking, just resting my hand near hers. Not touching. Not yet. But she moved first, her fingers finding mine, light as sea foam. No words followed, only the wind. Only the sound of the sea folding over itself again and again, as if erasing old names. When darkness fell, the horizon disappeared, leaving only the pulse of light from a distant boat and the warmth of her hand in mine. Sophia looked at me and said quietly, "You know, sometimes silence isn't empty. It's just love before it learns to speak." And I realized she was right. That night, the ocean wasn't just water. It was the echo of two lives finally finding rhythm again.